Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg, sitting here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Don't worry, it's a cool time right now. It's only 103 degrees at 10 in the morning. It's fine. Talking to Steve Carl today. He's getting ready to fight Tyson Steele over in the World Series of Fighting 3. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on your show.
Where are you right now? You in Iowa?
Yeah, I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yeah, it's there's quite a few guys. It's funny. Everyone I talk to from Iowa, they don't use Skype. They don't have iPhones. It's still, Middle Earth, Middle World living still out there in the Midwest, out there in Iowa, and all you guys are still kicking everybody's butt. Like, you guys are doing just as good as the rest of us that choose to use a bunch of different tactics and techniques. How is it training up there, and why are you guys so successful? Basically, pulling it all together all the time.
It's just a hard-nosed attitude. This is wrestling country where, hard work prevails. You get in there and you do your thing. We don't have big camps up here. A lot of my training is, self-training or with me and one other friend or me and a couple buddies. But, we know how to put it in the gym.
You have a 19-3 record, and you're talking about, how to put it in the gym. Well, you beat Ramiko Blackman in World Series of Fighting 1. Andrew Trace, Vince Hall. You lost to Douglas Lima a little bit before that. You lost to Dan Hornbuckle, but in the middle you beat Tyler Stinson. So it's not like you're not fighting the top-end guys. And then when you lost to Hornbuckle, you got caught in the first round by weird submission. I think it was a Kimura. But then Douglas Lima, who I think is one of the best welterweights, unknown best welterweights out there, you run to a full decision with him. So with very limited amount of great coaching, just by hard-nosed training, you guys are pulling it off. Has anything changed in the last year and a half for your training habits up there in Iowa?
They have. I've actually been training a little bit less, training smarter. The thing that's really built up in me is my mental. The Lima fight, Hornbuckle fight, I walked into both of those fights overwhelmed, thinking I couldn't win this fight because I'm just a small-town Iowa dude who trains with, a bunch of unknown guys, and I'm going in here fighting this big-name dude. So I walked into those fights thinking that I already lost. And that's the way I competed when I went out there. And after the Lima fight, I realized if I would have let myself go, that fight would have been over in the first round. If I would have gone out there calm and confident, I could have finished him easily. So I just try to go out there as calm as I can now and just do what I do.
So what did you do to help you with that? Did you go see a sports psychologist? You just read some books? You just figured it out on your own? Like, how did you do it?
I just figured it out on my own. I mean, nobody can really help you but yourself. Even if you go see a sports psychologist or anything, all they're going to do is help you help yourself.
Right.
You just got to, reach down and believe in yourself.
Now let's break down Tyson Steele, who's your next opponent coming up. He's 10-1. You're 19-3. When you see tape, I know you watch tape on him. When you see tape and you watch video on him, what do you see? What do you think the kind of fighter he is?
I think he's definitely a good fighter. He's a dangerous fighter. Good ground. His hands are decent, but he seems a little unconfident on his feet yet. So I want to try to expose that. Cardio's never an issue. He's a high-paced fighter. He likes to push the pace. He likes to get in there and just go. And he seemed really calm against his World Series of Fighting debut against Gregor Gracie.
Yeah, he was exceptionally calm. Like, I thought for sure that one would kind of put him too far in the deep end of the pool, and he seemed to do very well and ends up winning by TKO in the first round, like right at the end of the first round. So he did pretty good. If you were you've looked at him and you know what he's going to do and how he's going to come at you, he's looked at tape on you. What do you think he's really going to try to do when he comes out to fight you?
I don't really know. I've listened to a couple of his interviews, and he thinks he's going to the way to beat me is to try to outwork me. Right. But, that's everybody's game plan. You try to outwork the other person. But I'm just going to be an unstoppable force. I'm going to come at him, and I'm not going to stop until the ref pulls me off.
Now, how has the World Series of Fighting treated you so far? Because remember, this is only the third fight. They've already had one get pushed back a little bit, and they had to run it a little bit later. But now they've already set for the fourth one. They're coming up here at the end of the year. Have they been treating you well as a fighter?
I would say so. I mean, I got a little bitter taste in my mouth because, I thought I was going to be on that World Series of Fighting 2. And then it kept getting pushed back, and I didn't really find out I wasn't on the card until a couple weeks before.
Oh.
And as a fighter, that's devastating. I haven't been able to compete in 7.5 months now, and so I haven't had a paycheck in 7.5 months. I've been in the gym training for too long. Lost motivation. I just want to get in there and compete. I'm 28. I don't need to be sitting on a bench. I need to be out there competing because, we can't do this forever,
Yeah, I mean, the athletic window is very, very short. You're talking about you're in the gym for 7 months. That's a really long training camp. And like you said, you lost your motivation. Is all you do is fight professionally? That's your only payday?
Yes. I set my life up since I was 21 when I got out of the military so I could just fight full time.
So a 7-month layoff in between fights is pretty devastating, unless you're making a lot more money than what you are now. With this next fight, are you going to immediately turn around and ask World Series of Fighting to have you fight again on their next card?
Yes. If they don't fight me, soon, I'm gonna walk away. I mean, I have to. I can't just sit around and stay on the bench and let them, just bleed the time away.
Who are there any other organizations right now you're looking at besides World Series of Fighting?
Well, I mean, obviously you got your UFC and your Bellator out there, but I need a paycheck. I need a big fight. As long as I can keep climbing the rankings and I can keep getting big paydays, I'm down for whatever.
Have you had any contact yet with Bellator or with the UFC at all?
Well, obviously I've already fought for Bellator.
Right.
And I've left on good terms with them.
Okay.
They actually inquired about me in January for their last welterweight tournament, but I was, I'm under contract for World Series. UFC, I haven't had any personal contact, but I've had numbers of managers contact them and talked with them, and it just never worked out so far.
And it's a weird duck. Like the same thing happened with James Krause. They called him one time, and he wasn't ready. He was too far overweight and out of shape and couldn't fight. He got himself in shape and said, you call me anytime, I'll be ready to go within 2 weeks. Well, don't you know it? A couple weeks later, they call him up and tell him, hey, you can fight in 2 weeks. And now he's fighting in 2 weeks for UFC, and he's been trying to get there forever. You just have to put yourself in that space and be ready to go. And it's the same kind of attitude that you have, that you're always in the gym. You're just a hard-nosed trainer. You just always kind of go that they'll call you and go, hey, look, we need someone to fight in 14 days. And you'll be ready because you're already training. Where a lot of guys are sitting at home waiting for them to call and then still need 6 weeks to get prepared.
Yeah. They actually did call me last August, I believe, for a short notice fight. But unfortunately, it was in Canada, and I have an OWI on my record, so I need a little time to get into Canada.
Yeah, we got to cross the border.
Yeah.
It goes a long way when you're under contract with a big organization to be able to cross the border. It definitely helps out quite a bit. All right, Steve, I really appreciate you coming on here with us early this morning. Good luck, and World Series of Fighting 3. I'll see you this weekend because I'll be there live. So I'll see you this weekend over at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino here in Las Vegas.
Look forward to it. Thanks for having me again, Frank.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.